Animal Well is not really a game you talk about, it's a game you play. It's a game that doesn't really have a lot to say. Dialogue is not exactly on the menu here. The game is trying to pull you into its ambience and immerse you in its calming atmosphere. Or mostly calming, at least. Music is seldom present, as you mostly hear the quiet sounds of water falling and the grass shuffling as you traverse the world. It's the game you open late at night and just play. It's a small and wordless journey. From the moment you begin, there's no tutorial. There are no NPCs to blast you with dialogue and set you on your quest. There is only implied direction and the freedom to choose where you'll go first. There's a lot of times where I found myself at a crossroads and spent hours exploring each path to its end, or at least its temporary end, until I later found a tool that would let me keep going. The platforming is generally pretty simple, but every now and again there's these left hooks that catch you off guard. A little unexpected difficulty spike that hits you just to make sure you're awake and still playing. The platforming tools you get throughout the game open up some flexibility in how you approach some of the rooms. There's a lot of time I spent in this game just doing some wacko trick with the frisbee or the bubbles in order to get somewhere that I felt like I wasn't supposed to yet. But every time I did, it always either led somewhere new or at least rewarded me with some secret collectible. Those who have played Metroidvanias before are gonna find this game familiar, but not repetitive. I'm gonna be honest, this is a genre I've played a good amount of, but not a genre I've ever particularly been in love with, because it's not always done right. It's a simple genre, it's got a small checklist of things you gotta get right, and I think the most important one is the backtracking, kind of synonymous with the Metroidvania name. This is one of those gaming terms that's not inherently evil, but a lot of people can associate it like that. It can kind of send a shiver down your spine sometimes. That's because it's hard to get right and easy to get it wrong. There is a very fine line between curating an experience so that you can go to the same area twice and still be engaged and excited again, or reusing the same areas and having players feel fatigued and frustrated. I think the difference here is giving the player a reason to go back to where you've already been. Here, Animal Well does this by having 4 vague directions you can go to from the start, in which you have the freedom to tackle in really any order. However, each direction rewards you with a different key item that expands your ability to platform throughout the world. Each direction makes use of these tools to some degree, either being needed to progress or just hiding secrets to uncover. The most memorable parts of this game is when you have that little aha moment of grabbing a new key item or something of the sort and realizing you can go back and use it to solve a problem you had earlier. Like for example, when you get the frisbee and then, hey, there are dogs that chase me that I can't get past. Doggy frisbee. The most dangerous part of these games is that the back half of it can suddenly turn into a slog of wandering aimlessly throughout areas you've already been through and experienced, either looking for the right place to go or as a part of some big collectathon in order to progress. Animal Well alleviates this issue by simply ending before that even happens. It's really not that long of a game. You can beat this game in easily 5 to 6 hours. I did it in 7 by accident while particularly trying my best to explore everything I could before moving on from areas. What makes this game stand out to me from other games of the genre is that it faces simple problems with simple solutions. In a genre where backtracking is essential, you would figure that the map is one of the most important things to get right. Animal Well actually lets you put pins and icons all over it, like Zelda, so I actually know where things are and where I would want to go back to. Oh, there's a place I can't get past yet? Well, I can just drop an icon here and come back later. In my opinion, this game ends exactly when it needs to, so that the collectathon portion of the game comes after it ends and feels a lot more optional and fun as a part of the exploration, as opposed to feeling like an annoying section in the middle of the game. Animal Well does fantastic at what it's aiming for. It can really draw you in with the atmosphere. I think the ambience is amazing. It's no revolution in the platformer Metroidvania space, but it does well enough to cement itself as unique with its beautiful aesthetic and refreshing ability to avoid some of the all too common pitfalls that similar games of the genre might make. It's a concise and enjoyable experience. If I really had to describe it, it would be like... it's like if Halo 2 meets Halo 3.